Good afternoon, everyone. I'm very happy to welcome you at our online event. I'm really excited to talk about this topic because today we will talk a little bit differently. I will try to give you lots of useful information to cover the topic that we announced. And the topic is very big. The topic is huge. The topic is how to buy a property in Cyprus hassle-free and not regret it after. I think this is the question that everybody asks when they're looking for a property in any country. And I think when you can get a bit of life hacks, it is very, very important. So once again, I'm happy that you found time to attend the webinar, or if you will be watching it in the recorded version, I welcome you and let's start. Okay, so first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Anastasia Yianni, and I am the CEO and partner of Cyprus Sotheby's International Realty. I love property. I love Cyprus. I have been working in the real estate field for the last 20 years, and I am very pleased to say that I've been in many situations personally. I live here, my family lives here, my parents live here, and I will be very happy to share my experience and talk to you not only as a representative of Cyprus Sotheby's International Realty, but also as a person who made a move to Cyprus many years ago and who built life here. And I have to say that so far it's been a very, very happy life. Our company is the Cyprus branch of one of the largest international luxury real estate brokerage network in the world, and we are represented in 75 countries. This makes our company truly global. Our Cyprus office is based on the world standards, and I think that the most important thing that I have to mention is that we always grow. We always try to become better, but we will talk about this subject a little bit later. Our company is fully licensed. We have full marketing department, lots of very professional brokers, and we speak many, many languages. But today is less about us. It's more about you and how we can help you on this journey to see that Cyprus is the place to be and how we can make the whole process efficient, pleasurable, and enjoyable. So today we will cover with you many, many important subjects. And the first, I think, is Cyprus for you? When you are, I know that we have people from many countries. And by the way, it would be very interesting to see if you can write in the chat which country you're from. This will help us as well to see what country Cyprus is attractive to. So, but is Cyprus for you? Then we will talk a little bit about questions that you need to ask yourself before buying to make the whole process very efficient for you. I will cover the subject of types of properties in Cyprus and what makes a property in Cyprus more desirable. In our company, we always see every property purchase as investment, and we want to make your investment as liquid and as desirable as possible. Then we will talk a bit how to choose the right real estate agency and why do you need us? And actually the question is, do you need a real estate agent or can you do everything by yourself? And we will talk about purchasing process, things you need to know. And of course, we will leave time for questions and answers. I will try to be very compact and I will try to finish everything within 1 hour. So let's start. And the first question is Cyprus for you? We understand that now world is truly global place and we are not restricted by the country where we were born in. We can travel and we can choose as a place to live practically everywhere in the world. With pandemic, we also learned a new, very important skill. We learned that in many cases we can work online. So it means that we are not restricted by our country. We can choose the country where we can be happier or where the lifestyle is better for us. And if you consider a move, then we prepared this little checklist. So if you dream of a country with mild climate and no pollution, if you're worried about your family in the current pandemic, if you're thinking about your children's future, their education, and how they grow up in the country where you live, if simply you want to live in Europe, if you live now outside Europe, if you feel that you're actually so tired of it all and you want to have a more relaxed lifestyle, maybe you want to diversify your assets. Maybe you plan to expand your business to Europe. Maybe you're worried about the safety of your business. Maybe you pay too much in taxes. Or maybe, as now we are almost end of November, in Cyprus it's still wonderful and sunny and warm. So maybe you're just tired of gray skies and cold and miserable weather. So if you answered yes to any of these questions in the checklist, then maybe Cyprus could be a solution for you. During this webinar, I will not go into details of all the advantages and all the benefits that Cyprus has to offer. I will ask our marketing team and they will leave in the chat the link to our previous webinars where we covered all these subjects much more extensively. Today, I will only briefly go through the main points. So again, just to repeat why and what makes Cyprus so attractive. And of course, the first thing, if we're talking about advantages, this is our fantastic climate. We have 340 sunny days per year. And actually, we had a discussion recently in the office where we were saying, like, is it really 340 sunny days? And we all came to conclusion that yes, indeed, it's 340 or maybe even more. We have cleanest beaches in Europe. And what is very important, the culture in Cyprus is very hospitable. And I can say, being a foreigner living in Cyprus for the last 20 years, actually, I never felt myself a foreigner. I always felt myself very welcome. Cyprus has an excellent healthcare. And you know, when we were doing the webinars several years ago, we didn't even have this line. But now we do, because now we all understand how important healthcare is and how important access to health care is. Cyprus has amazing connections. It's a very convenient island. It's a very convenient island and you can fly and travel everywhere. British system or the law and land registry and everything is based on the British law-based system, which makes it very easy. English language widely spoken, which means that all the documents and everything can be done in English. And it also means that you can integrate and you can enjoy your life here in Cyprus a lot, even if you don't speak Greek. We have modern bank and legal systems, very good quality education. For education, you have several choices. But if you opt for international schools, then you need to know that it goes with British curriculum, and then it's very easy for your children to go to any English-speaking university all over the world. Cyprus is one of the safest countries. We have amazing tax system, and this is actually one of the reasons why people choose Cyprus or at least start looking towards Cyprus. Excellent infrastructure and lots of lifestyle opportunities. Again, like I always say, I'm not a tax advisor, but just the look at the amount of zeros that we have for tax makes it really, really attractive. So we have 0% tax on passive income for non-domiciles. We have 0% property tax. We have 0% inheritance tax, which again, I love it because like I think the thought of the countries where inheritance tax is prohibitive, I think it's very unfair. We have 5% pension tax and we have only 12.5% corporate tax. If we talk about real estate, then I will only go briefly about the statistics because everyone worries, is it a good time to consider buying? What is happening? Is there activity? Are there any transactions happening? And we can see from the land registry data that 2021 is a very healthy year. We have great amount of transactions, the trust in the market return, and actually now we see more and more interest for lifestyle properties, for bigger properties, for bigger budgets, where people are considering Cyprus as a place to relocate. And again, there are so many reasons why that, again, Cyprus is a very interesting option and the healthy and the real estate market is very healthy. In Cyprus, we have 5 main districts and all the districts again show very good dynamics in this year. What is important to know is that what areas are most attractive to foreigners, because again, we have domestic market, we have foreign market, and we can see that of course the areas around the coast are the most popular with foreign buyers. I know that some of our listeners are not from the European Union. That's why I will mention briefly about an amazing immigration program that Cyprus has, which is a permanent residency. Because it's very nice to buy a property in the sun, but can you legally reside here? Can you actually build a business? And what will be your status? In Cyprus, we have a very clear and very transparent program called Cyprus Permanent Residency. This is a government program that allows investors to reside in Cyprus. What is very important that Cyprus is the only EU country which offers lifelong permanent residency. What we mean here is that there are many countries that offer temporary residence permit that you can extend and you need to stay there. In Cyprus, we also have temporary residence permit, but we also have permanent residency where it's very clear that by investment of 300,000 euros, the whole family, investor, spouse, their parents, and dependent children up to 25-year-old can get a permanent residency. No language exams, no medical tests, no interview, no tax consequences unless you want to have the tax consequences and unless the taxes is the reason why you're considering Cyprus. And very important to mention that it has a short application process. Investment criteria is just 300,000 euros plus VAT, and you have a choice of the routes. You can go with investment in housing, unit, apartments, or houses. You can go investing in commercial real estate. You can invest in share capital of a company, or invest in Cyprus investment funds. To be completely honest, in most cases, most applicants go for the residential property because actually, in most cases, they plan to relocate. They plan to use this property. So that's why it is much easier to invest in residential property that you will use and on the basis on this investment to receive your residency. Once again, I want to repeat that during this webinar, I'm not planning to go into details of all these procedures for the permanent residency, for the taxes. We can cover some of the questions for those topics during our questions and answers sessions. But again, we can always discuss with you in a personal consultations, or you can view our previous webinars where we covered these subjects in details. So the permanent residency program, just at a glance, timeline 2-3 months, valid for life. You don't need to stay in Cyprus. You can just visit Cyprus once every 2 years. It's issued for the whole family, and it is investment of 300,000 euros plus VAT if applicable. Very important updates for non-European attendees that as of the 1st of January 2022, Cyprus is introducing lots of measures to attract foreign companies to relocate. And this is actually a fantastic program. There will be less bureaucracy to open a company, to get all the permits, to get all the registrations, and is becoming much, much easier. And what is also amazing, you will be able not only to move your company or open the new company, you will be able to employ the people and move your personnel. And also the spouses of the personnel will be able to work and they will have open access to the labor market. So this is very good news. We will send you the presentation so you will see all these important updates later on. And now we are going to the most important part of this webinar. And you know, I am doing lots of training for our team. We have a big team of brokers, and we always say that to make the purchase and to make the deal successful, we need to work together. But the first part is on you. You need to understand, what am I doing and why am I doing it? And to help you, we prepared the checklist of questions that are important to reflect, important to ask yourself, and important to be prepared even before you start searching. So let's start. The first and the most important question is, why do I want to buy in Cyprus? What is my goal? Why am I planning? Why am I considering this? Is it the permanent residency? Am I planning to relocate? Or will it be my holiday home in the sun and I will be using it just few months a year? Do I plan to relocate my business and go with a full relocation? Is it education of children? Because I want my children to live in the sunny climate, in the safe country, be free and get the best education possible with a very good value for money. Is it the tax residency? Are there any other reasons why I want to buy in Cyprus? And even though it's a very personal question, trust me, if you answer this question to yourself, then it will be so much easier to select for you and to find for you the best property that fit your goal. And if you're clear what you want to achieve, the chances that you will achieve it and you will enjoy your property are much, 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 much higher. And this is what we all want in the end. as a person who loves Cyprus, I really want people to move to Cyprus, buy properties, but be happy about these purchases. Like we mentioned in the name of our webinar, not to regret it. So this is question number one. Why do I want to buy in Cyprus? The second question is, what area in Cyprus is best for me? Of course, it's easier to answer if you have already been to Cyprus and if you know Cyprus. If not, then we will be very happy to share with you our experiences, because even though Cyprus is a very small island, each area has its own energy, it has its own advantages, it has its own infrastructure, and by your personality, by your goals, by why you want to buy in Cyprus, we will be able to advise you which area will be more suitable for you. The next question, of course, is how much am I willing to invest? It's very important to understand for yourself what is the budget that I allocate to this purchase. How much am I willing to invest? Is it below 300,000? Is it over 3 million? Because there are lots of properties available. So when we hear the request, just send us options, and we do not have budget. It's a very interesting question. Let's say in our CRM system, we have more than 4,000 properties. We cannot share all of them, so it's important to narrow the choice. And what is the property type? What is my lifestyle? How do I like to live? Do I like to be in an apartment? Do I want to have a penthouse? Is it a villa? Is my interest purely commercial and I only want to get income from the commercial assets? Or could it be an office retail? So again, this is the question that is important to know. Big and small requirements. That actually is your dream list. And in many cases, when I have a personal consultation with a client, I would ask, describe me your dream house. Where do you see yourself? Is it a seaside, sea view, golf, hills, city center, rural, complex with a pool? What is it that you cannot live without? Let's say for myself, I know some features of the houses that I will never move to a property or buy a property if it doesn't have these small things. So again, very important to know. What is the status of the property? Do I want to move now, so I'm only looking for a ready property? Am I willing to wait and get the property specs to my requirements? So I am considering off-plan property. Does it have to be new property or resale property? These are the points to consider. Now, if you remember, in the checklist, there was this question, type of property. And even though more or less the properties are universal all over the world, it is, I believe, very important to understand what is the standard or what would you expect if your advisor would say, okay, we are talking about 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom or 3 bedroom. What is typical for one country? And again, it can be 1 bedroom apartment in the UK and 1 bedroom apartment in Cyprus and 1 bedroom apartment in China, but the sizes and the philosophy of the apartment would be completely different. So let's start with the first one, apartment. So apartment is not usually located on a single story. In Cyprus, all the properties would have large covered or uncovered verandas. And this is completely logical. Remember, we have 340 sunny days a year, so we do want to spend lots of time outside. So in fact, verandas, they become part of your living area and they are very important. So studio, there are not many studios in Cyprus, but it would be an open plan kitchen, living, sleeping area, separate bathroom, and it would be about 40 square meters. One bedroom, more or less, it would be about 50 square meters. Two bedrooms with one or two bathrooms would be 80 square meters and above, and the three bedroom would be about 110 square meters. Please, I have to emphasize that these are standard. So of course, this is like the average picture. Of course, we have fantastic projects with the two-bedroom apartments of 130 square meters. We have three-bedroom apartments of 200 square meters and up. But if we look at the standard, then please have in mind that these would be your measurements. And we put, just like as a guideline, the sample layout of the more standard properties. The second type that is very popular in Cyprus is a townhouse. A townhouse is not usually the line of attached houses. It would normally have 2 floors. Sometimes we would have 3 floors. And in most cases, it would have dining living area downstairs and 2 bedrooms with two or three bedrooms, depending on the size, upstairs. Some of them, they would have roof garden, and as they are built on land, they would always have a little bit of garden. Again, 2-bedroom townhouses in Cyprus would be roughly from 85 square meters. Now we come to the type of properties called villa. And actually in Cyprus, there are lots and lots of types or subtypes of different villas. Basically, every detached house would be called a villa. So to make it a little bit easier, we split it into 2 types. So villa / detached house, that would be a freestanding single detached unit. Normally, it would be on a smaller plot, and that would be part of the organized project. Let's say we have a development of 10 or 12 or 5 or 6 houses that are built on a large plot of land, and they all bear the same architecture and same design. The standard one, I would say, would come about 130 square meters, and the plot area 250, 200, etc. If the plot allows, then you would have a swimming pool. Again, 340 sunny days a year. We like spending time outside. We also like our barbecues. So you would have your barbecue area, a parking place, and as I mentioned, a small swimming pool. So this is detached house or villa. The villa in a more international sense, it would be like a residence type, where you have large plot of land, where you have in most cases custom-made design based on your specifications and based on your requirements. In most cases, the covered areas would be much larger. We're talking about 200 square meters and higher. And the plot areas are also larger. Again, here, for this type, there is no standard. This is a more custom-made house with where it's only your fantasy and imagination. So we ran with you through the 4 main types of properties. So now I think you will understand better when you read or when you hear in the advertising materials like 1-bedroom apartment. Immediately you can, in most cases, you can understand what is the size, and also it can be a good point of reference. If you see the project with the apartment sizes larger than standard, you understand that it's already something more interesting. And we slowly come to a very interesting subject: what makes a property more desirable? But before we go there, please let me know, do you have any questions for the topics that I covered before? Thank you. Okay, so we are moving now to a very interesting topic, what makes a property more desirable? And here again, I will mention why I included this subject. Because and this is my strong belief, that investment in property, even when you're using it as a lifestyle and your personal property, we need to consider it as an investment. Because again, you don't know, life changes. Maybe you will decide that you're moving, but let's say you're moving for non-domicile. And we know that with non-domicile regime, you have tax benefits for 17 years. So maybe after 17 years, you will decide to move to another country. So you would want to sell the property. Again, that's why I always encourage you, even for personal property, to have at the back of your mind the investment and liquidity points of view. And I remember myself very well when I was doing my master degree in real estate. I loved the subject of economics and urban economics because everything becomes so clear. Like, after my course, all my questions about pricing models of developers were answered because it's all about liquidity and the factors that we will cover on the next slides. But first, we always hear, oh, I want liquidity, oh, I want liquidity. But do we understand what it means? In many cases, we all believe that liquid means that we will sell it faster. And indeed, this is about time. So, liquidity is about the time of sale. So it doesn't mean that your property will always go up in price, because we all know about the cycles. We know that the prices go up, then they will go down, they go up, they go down. But the most important matter is to choose the property that will always behave a little bit better than the general market. So let's say when the prices go up, the property that you selected will go up a little bit higher. If the prices are down when you decide to sell and you still want to sell, then the prices will go down, but not as down as the neighboring properties. And also, the shorter the time it takes to sell, the higher the liquidity. In all types of investments, we have three key factors of liquidity. This is high demand from a wide range of buyers, quality of the commodity, and the ease of determining its value. And with property, we have high demand, we have the quality, but the ease of determining its value, this is not that simple, especially in the markets where we do not have as many transactions, or when every property is different. So what we have done for you, we have selected the most important factors that influence the price and liquidity, and then we transformed them to the checklist for Cyprus. But the first thing, what factors influence the price? Very easy. Supply and demand. Supply and demand. If people are buying properties, then there will be value in this property. There is a user factor, factors related to the property itself, and factors of external market environment. Again, I don't want to become a boring economics professor, so I'm not going into details, but just bear in mind always supply and demand. And if we look at the pricing factors in the valuation of real estate, then of course we all remember the first thing is always it would be location, location, location. It is district, in the case of Cyprus, proximity to the sea and amenities, property type, year of construction, construction quality. And if you've been to Cyprus, I'm sure that you have noticed that the gap between old houses and new houses, the gap in quality is huge. It's really, really huge gap in the quality. Interior infrastructure, how many floors, what is the view, what is the size, condition of the property, legal status of the property. So now on this slide, I will do a brief walk through the price liquidity factors in relation to Cyprus real estate. Okay, so the first, location. Okay, Limassol, as I mentioned, we have 5 main areas: Limassol, Paphos, Nicosia, Larnaca, Ayanapa. For the same type of properties, the prices will be different. And this is very important. You cannot or of course you can compare, but it's always the difference in price between the same apartment in Paphos would be cheaper than the same apartment in Limassol, but more expensive than the same apartment in Ayanapa. So the city factor is very important. If we are talking about the ease of selling, and if we are looking more for investment, less for the personal use, because again, for personal use, even though we always look at the possibility to sell, but we mostly go with our gut feeling. It's our property. Do I like this location? Do I not like this location? So of course, if we go strictly for the investment, then the closer to the city center it is, the better. If we are looking at the seaside cities, then of course proximity to the sea is a huge price determining factor, and also huge demand factor. So by proximity to the sea, I don't mean the front line. Everything within 15-20 minutes walk is okay. It can be even further if you are looking at the houses and at the detached houses or residences. If it's apartment, and if you want to be able to sell it faster, then the closer to the sea, the better. Property type, apartments or houses, just to give you an idea, the majority of sales are done with apartments, even though the housing market is very active as well. Why is year of construction important? You know, now, as I mentioned, the gap in the quality is huge, but we also have the new regulations, and mainly it's regulation for the insulation, for the thermal insulation, for the soundproof, for everything. So just to give you, I just put one small example. Let's say old houses, it was maximum 20 centimeters walls without any installations. All the new builds, they have now to have 25 centimeter walls plus 5 to 8 centimeter thermal insulation of walls and roof. And in Cyprus, it's not to keep the heat, even though couple of months, a year, it's very cold. Okay, it's not cold, it's plus 15 outside, but in the old houses inside, it's a bit chilly. So it's nice to be well sealed. In summer, we have an issue to cool the properties. So again, thermal insulation and energy efficiency is very important. What is the building quality? Again, when you come to Cyprus, you will see the difference is huge. Now, there is another factor which I'm very happy to mention, that now more and more smaller projects, here we're mainly talking about apartments and townhouses, they add additional infrastructure, swimming pool, playgrounds, gym, security, and in the time of lockdown is very, very important. The quality of maintenance of the building and common areas, and very important, legal clarity of the property. Does the property have all the necessary permits? Is everything done in compliance with these permits? What is the reputation of developer? What are the hidden matters? We need to know that the property is clear. So these are all factors that impact price, impact liquidity factors, and impact your choice. Okay, so now this is very interesting, and actually I'm very excited about this part, and I would ask you to participate in this part, because this is in a way a discussion how we can work together, how to choose the right agency, and why do you need us. Okay, and I would start from the second question. Why do you need us? And the question is, can you buy and find the property yourself without a real estate company? And in theory, the answer is yes, provided that you have lots of time, provided that you lived here for many years, that you don't rely on anyone, that you studied the case. If not, then based on our experience and based on the feedback or from our clients, we selected the 5 main reasons. And the first and the foremost is, of course, it's time efficiency. We are saving your time. And now we all understand that nothing matters in our life more than our time. Time is the only thing that we will never get back. And we can either spend lots and lots of time doing this preparation work, or we can work with the professionals who know what they're doing, and they will save your precious time. The second part is local knowledge. You know, let's say if I'm looking to buy a property in the country that I've never lived, I would want to hear about this area. I would want to hear about different regional characteristics. I would like to understand, is it suitable for me? I would like to have a person to discuss it. Knowledge of amenities. I have children. What school shall I take them? Are there any hospitals, shops, etc.? And personal experience. You know, we are living here, we know what we are doing, so we can do everything from the prism of personal experience. Professional experience, knowledge of the real estate market, legal questions, property due diligence checks, like, you know, these understanding of liquidity, these understanding the local professional knowledge of all the legal matters, what is important in the contract, what is important to pay attention to for the fee, for the contracts. And in the end, all of these means lower risk for you or for anyone who is buying. And I think that purchase of property is a huge investment. So of course, we all want to lower risk. And by engaging a real estate agency, you definitely lower the risk. And wide property choice. First of all, we have already listed properties. So we already have a database of properties all over the island. We also have the database of off-market properties or upcoming opportunities. So something that is not readily available on the market, that's something that is coming, so you can have the first access to these to all these services, to all this knowledge. And now I really want you to ask for your participation, because it's always important for us that maybe we are missing something. maybe something else we're not offering in our services. So if you can spend just a couple of seconds and participate in our survey, okay? So if you see now that we have a small survey, why would you work with real estate brokers? And here you have all these factors: time efficiency, local knowledge, professional expertise, lower risk, wide property database. For others, if there is something else that's important for you, then I would really ask if you can write it in the comment so we can understand what it is that we are missing. So I will give you 1 minute to put your answers, and in advance, I'm very grateful for your answers. That will only help us to become better. Okay. It's possible to choose more than one answer. Oh, this is so exciting. Excellent. Okay. Thank you very, very much. So I will end voting, and I share the results. And now we will go back to our presentation, because now you confirm that yes, the services that we offer, they are of importance. And now we come to the point how to choose the right agencies and what to pay attention. Okay, so now that we covered the first important questions, let's go like how to choose your agent. Because again, in my opinion, and that's what is the ethos and what is the policy of our company, that we don't even like when we are called agents, because we are indeed your property advisors. Our job is to advise you to get the best possible results. And in Cyprus, it is very important to remember that in Cyprus, the profession of a real estate agent is a licensed profession. So all the agents should have a license. On all our materials, on everything, you have a license number. So you know that we adhere to the standards and we all know the laws and we bear responsibility for what we are doing. Next thing, very important, field experience. You know, if in our company we add years of experience of all our property advisors, it would be more than 200 years, which is, again, there is nothing like practice. There is nothing like cases that you worked on and that you already know how to advise. There is nothing like field experience, knowing what to pay attention with each and every developer. What is the points that we need to add to the contracts? It's again field experience. Where is the agency located? And by that I mean is that if you're looking for a property in Cyprus, then your agent should be based and located in Cyprus. It should be local. It should be from the area where they are offering. Physical office. Does the company, is it like a one-day company, or is it a company that is here to stay and that has a long-term vision? So does it have an office? Is it clean? Is it good? Is it tidy? Do people pay attention to the office? Is there a support team? Let's say that now you bought a property and then you decide in 10 years to sell. Does this agency have resources to sell? How many brokers they have? What exposure will I get? Of course, reputation. In my opinion, the next point is also very important, to be client focused. And of course, knowledge and testimonials from the previous clients. The buying process, again, it's just one slide because I think that everything else comes a little bit later. But the most important for you to know that the buying process is just a number of steps. It's a number of steps. It's not a rocket science, but there are some steps which are important. So the number one is the homework that we have done today. Understand what you want. Engage real advisor of your choice. Prepare for your trip, which is viewing itinerary, KYC documents. This is very important, guys. You know, if you're serious about the purchase of property, then you need to understand that there is a time for procedures. Let's say even if you selected the property, you will need to allow time for the banks to check your documents to make sure that you will be able to transfer money and your money will be accepted. To give you an example, in many cases, when we work on a serious cases, when the clients already know that they will be buying property in Cyprus, we prepare with them all the documents in advance. We consult them what documents they will need to the bank to show for the source of funds documents. If our investors are applying for permanent residency, again, we would be able to advise what documents they need to collect. So this is part of preparation. Book your trip to Cyprus or online viewing, view selected properties and choose the right property. Appoint a local registered solicitor to make registration in the land registry, etc. Pay the reservation deposit, sign the sale agreement, pay for the property, and then the last part is enjoy your new home. So these are the steps, and we will make a different presentation for those who want to know in more details for each and every aspect or have questions about some particular aspect. But in a nutshell, this is your whole buying process. And now, let's say that you decided that, yes, I'm interested. I'm interested to find out more about Cyprus, and I'm interested to find out more about the possibility of buying property in Cyprus. I'm not sure yet if I want to engage Cyprus Sotheby's International Realty or I want to engage someone else, or indeed if Cyprus is for me. So the best and the most efficient way for both sides, for you and for us in this case, would be to have a free personal online consultation with our property expert, where you can discuss your goals, you can discuss if Cyprus is suitable for you. Maybe for your particular goal, we could even advise for you to look at a different country. And because we are part of a global network, we have a good understanding of the attractions and benefits and advantages of other countries. So if Cyprus is not suitable for you, we could help you, like at least start thinking about maybe different destinations, even though, of course, I hope that Cyprus would be your choice. Then prepare for the trip. And as I mentioned, we would help you with all the process. We would help you with the documents. When and if we are working together and you engaged us, then before your trip, we would prepare the long list and even short list for the viewing itinerary. So you would know exactly again where you're going to see. And here, guys, again, very important because all the team is very knowledgeable. We're very flexible. And we had lots of time then we prepared the itinerary with the clients. But when the investors came to Cyprus, they could see that they changed their mind. It was something else. They decided, you know what? No, I want a different type. Immediately, we can change the itinerary. Immediately, we can select for you the properties that would fit you. And that's why this feedback and exchange of information is so important. And then when you come to Cyprus, we would help you in viewing and selecting properties, sorting out the paperwork. Again, guide and assist you through the whole process. And very important, we never will tell you, you know what, thank you very much, goodbye. We are here for the long run, and we are here to assist you not only until the moment of purchase, but after, with advice on settling down, with advice of what school to attend, etc., etc. All the way, if you decide to sell your property, we would be happy to market your property for you and help you to realize your investment as well. Okay, so that was it with the presentation. And now I saw that there was some questions, so I will have questions. I will have some time to answer your questions. And please, if you have more questions, type it in. If we don't manage to answer now, you have a button on top of the screen with book your free consultation. If you fill it in, then our experts will contact you in the time of your choice, and we can again do the first step, check if the Cyprus is for you and help you out. Now let me go up on the chat to see the questions. Okay. Okay. The question, what about land or plot for building after? Yes, that's also a very good option. But why we didn't put it in the standard one? Because there is no standard. Okay, there is no standard. We have excellent resources for land as well. So again, as long as we understand your requirements, we are fully knowledgeable to understand what is the building density, what will be the suitable areas for you, what would be the best contractor to engage as well to do the whole package. Because in most cases, the plot also comes with a property, and to become not with a property, but you select the contractor as well, who will help you with all the building, with all the planning, with all the architectural. And there we have excellent partners who specialize in this particular area. Okay, so yes, if you're looking for land or plot for building, we would be able to help you. Where is better to buy for holiday house? Okay, Natalie, it's for holiday house, because Cyprus is a holiday destination. I would advise to go to the seaside cities and to the ones that attract, that have good infrastructure. And we have Paphos area, Limassol area, Larnaca, and Ayanapa area. Each areas, they have, as I mentioned, they have their style and they have their season. Let's say if you want to have the all year round possibility with the full infrastructure, then I would say to go more Paphos and Larnaca. If you want to be more combination of city life, these buzz and more city, less holidays, then it would be Limassol. So again, look at the seaside, look at the presentation slide where I'm talking about liquidity, and that would be the good place to start. And again, we would be happy to provide you consultation to discuss it in more details. By the way, I haven't mentioned it, but this is something to consider. If you are looking to buy a holiday house and if you're planning to use it only a limited amount of time, have in mind that this can be a combination of holidays and investment. You will be able to generate some income if you're renting this property out when you are not using it for your personal for your family. Okay. Question from Jupiter. How easy is it to get planning permission and how long does the process usually take? It is to get a planning permission, you will need to engage a good architect or a good contractor, and then they will have the knowledge with our advice of what is the allowable area, how many square meters, what is the height, because again, all this part is very, very structured. For every area in Cyprus, we have clear guidance from land registry, how many square meters and what is the height allowed. So it is, I wouldn't say that it's difficult, provided that you do it with good partners, with a good architect, and with a good contractor. How long does the process usually take? I would say that actually to get the design and to decide what exactly you want, this is the longest part. If we're talking about the planning permit for a single house, then it's not a long period at all, and it depends on the municipality. So I think that we can discuss it. I will ask my experts to contact you, and based on the area where you want to be, we will provide you better guidance. A question from Natalie: how much I need to pay for your services? In Cyprus, buyers do not pay for the services of the real estate agents. We are always paid by the seller. So it means that whatever you buy, we will be paid. So it's in our interest to provide you the best services so you can get what you want, so you are happy with us. And if you want to sell in the future, you would sell through us, and then you will pay us if you become a seller. And also, if you are happy, you will recommend us and just enjoy life in Cyprus and be happy here. Okay, next question. If we wanted to purchase land and build a home on it, is this a process that you can assist with? Definitely. Definitely. Okay, I believe that was the question, local knowledge. Yes. Marco, thank you very much. What is the market outlook for Cyprus residential property in the short and medium term in terms of capital gain? And if positive, what would be the driving force? That's a very interesting question. And the general market outlook for Cyprus residential property is quite positive. We had a change of the market environment, quite drastic, in the last year, which was connected with COVID. Of course, the island was closed, but because of the lockdown, we also had lots of new interest. When all the people realized that if I had a permanent residency, I can fly to Cyprus even if it's full lockdown. Then I can spend my time in the lockdown in a much nicer environment with not as strict measures, or even with the strict measures. If I have my garden with my swimming pool, I can spend it amazingly. So this was a good thing, because the construction materials are going up so high that there will be growth connected with this. But driving forces of the positive outlook is increase in demand, because Cyprus is doing lots of things to make it more attractive, not only for the holiday people, but also for relocation. And depending on what is your status and why you're doing it, you actually can save so much on taxes just by moving your business or moving yourself to Cyprus, that we see more and more people coming for it. We can see the whole new countries opening as markets for Cyprus. Let's say before we didn't really have lots of interest from Germany. Now we do. We have lots of people coming from Scandinavia, from UK, from Israel, from Spain now. People who come from post-Soviet countries, because again, you can get so many advantages and enjoy amazing lifestyle. So the drivers, the change of demand, increase in construction materials, and increase in the measures that the government does to bring foreign direct investment to the country. Do you offer a service for managing the asset either by yourself or by an affiliate? Managing an asset refers to renting the asset. Yes, of course. We do not have our own property management company which does the maintenance of the swimming pool, etc. But we have amazing affiliates who are doing this service. And in fact, in many cases, we even engage them prior to the purchase of the asset by our clients, when they do the assessment of the property from the point of view of its rentability as an investment. So yes, the answer is yes. Okay, I'm only 6 minutes over the time. So let me take one more question before we finish, because I see that someone is typing. And in the meantime, if you can type plus if the information in this webinar was useful for you, it would be a very useful feedback for me and the ways for us to improve. How is it with European citizens? With European citizens, it's the same. It's with European citizens, you have, because the taxes and the advantages, they are not connected to nationality. The only thing that is different for non-European is the permanent residency status, when actually you have a clear legal way of residing and buying property legally in the country. Everything else is absolutely the same. And in fact, Cyprus is one of the most popular destinations for Europeans who are looking to either buy a holiday house or to buy for investment or looking for a good tax residency. So now, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for allocating this 1 hour and spending it with me. We will be very happy to assist you on your journey if you consider Cyprus as your possible destination. We will share the slides. All of you will receive the presentation and also the recording of this webinar. And also our wonderful team will contact you to see if there is anything else that we can do for you. For now, thank you very much. And I hope that I will be that soon we will be welcoming you to Cyprus, and I will be very happy to see you all soon. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye. Bye. Bye.